Which job is a lot less fun than most people expect? Video game tester. You aren't spending your time playing completed, fully realized games. You're playing the same level of a game over and over, seeing if there are bugs. I had a friend who got a job as a tester at Activision. They had him testing interactive Disney storybooks. Video game testing is like prostitution. It's doing something you love in the least fun way possible. Sure, some days it can be great and just like the real thing. But most days it's a huge pain in the Archaeologist. Did it during my 20s and that was more than enough. Long, hot days, living out of cheap motels on S-Pay. And you typically find nothing more than some pieces of glass and broken pottery. Every once in a blue moon you find something cool. But those items generally end up getting stored away in a box full of other artifacts never to be seen again. After reading through this thread for 20 minutes, I've concluded that every job sucks. I think doing anything for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week would probably get tiresome. Zookeeper. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome to be around so many amazing animals and care for them. But the smells are ridiculously, insanely foul. I have a really strong stomach and it's still tough for me. We've had some interns quit over it. I was warned about the smells when getting into the field, but thought, oh, I've volunteered at animal shelters. I know what animal stink smells like. Nope, not even close. Which smell the worst? Are there any that don't? Accounting isn't the adrenaline rush that most people think it is, but the glamour, the perks, the respect. But what do you do if the two sides of the spreadsheet don't balance? This made me laugh out loud. Cold sweat smile. Demolition. Everyone wants to break us with a sledgehammer. Everyone is tired of lifting that sledgehammer by 5 swings. Nobody wants to load the broken stuff into bags or a wheelbarrow and take it to the dumpster. I did a 2-week demo job years ago where I had to jackhammer 75 pounds at least, a concrete slab and grind rebar into pieces. I'm in good shape and that job F me up. I always say the more fun it is to go somewhere, the worse it is to work there, like amusement parks and arcades. Honestly, every job that lots and lots of people really want to do sucks. Mostly due to supply and demand. You're gonna be treated like S. And if you complain, you're gonna be fired because you're inherently replaceable. Because there's thousands of people that would love to do your job for even less money than you are making. Working in an animal shelter. For sure, it's probably less intense than zookeeping. But the amount of people who apply are volunteer expecting to come in and play with cute puppies all day is absurd. We're basically animal maids. You deal with animals of all sorts of behavioral and developmental stages and pissing every F word, and then you look over and this F dog named Chumbawamba swimming in his water bowl, so you gotta fill that up 6 times and dry his kennel out, and then you go and mop up the cat room around 10 kittens who want to eat your mop, and also 4 children who are all yelling that there's puking the floor and I must clean it now. Not to mention all the extra behind-the-scenes work that the public never sees. How in the summer, during kitten and puppy season, the shelter built to house 500, max has 750, and I didn't take a lunch or sit at all for any of my shifts for the past 6 days. How the courts force us to put down animals that we know can be rehabilitated, but we don't get enough funding to fight it. How animal control just showed up with the 4th pregnant stray of the week, but intake is full on. Even double stacked in some cases. So your coworker fosters the cats on her own. Not even to mention the SF people who do dumb s and end up getting bit or scratched, and the animal is the one who bears those consequences. I am the proudest shelter worker in the world. I adore my job, even at its hardest. I didn't sit for 9.5 hours today and I found a cat turd in the cuff of my jeans, but it doesn't matter because a bonded pair of adult cats got adopted today. I took 6 applications this morning and the cat in bank 4 with the goopy eye is already looking better. And we sent a mama out to foster. The hard work is always worth it for these babies. Lawyer. No, it isn't like they show on TV. Hey, finally cases before the judge. See, the other party didn't show up. Next date that judge has given is 3 months away. Edit. Need to say a few things. 1. Thank you fellow Redditors for the gold and silver. Now I can finally see what Art Lounge is all about. Now, little bit about me. I am from India and have moved on from litigation to academia. Personally, it was the right decision for me as now I am way less stressed and can work on things that intellectually stimulate me. Having said that, I need to clarify that law is still a very rewarding profession. There is something in it for everyone, for those who want to change the world as well as for those who want to make money. It just demands too much of your time, plus the results of all your efforts are not immediate, and that can get stressful. Also, yes, that song, Don't Be a Lawyer, by Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is pretty spot on. Hiking and backpacking guide. Worrying for others the whole time takes the fun away. I'm a marine biologist. I spent the last week measuring defrosted fish heads. The sea was angry that day. Yar yar days. I have seen this question before and then it was Zookeeper at the top comment too. Nice. Anyways, there's this Making a Frozen 2 mini docu. Most animators work weeks for a minute of animation of one character, if not less. At one point they decided to leave out a piece that one person had solely been working on. Must be seen to be part of the credits without being able to say, "This is my part." Quote. Working in a music store, musical instruments. Your days are spent listening to 50 different people play 50 different riffs poorly simultaneously, as if they're all putting on their own concert. Baker. Coming into work at 3/4 am so you can have a 6 am baked goods is miserable. 000 you must L0 vey the way you smell when you G0H0 me. Quote. Nope, I go home smelling like burn oven. Lifeguarding. Everyone expects Baywatch act saving lives all the time, but it's usually just sitting there blowing your whistle telling little S to stop F around. I lifeguarded in high school. It can be mind-numbingly boring. I was certainly the tannest I've ever been though. Being a character performer at Disney. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing perks in truly magical moments. I know I'm super lucky and tons of people would love to be in my shoes. But the day-to-day work is exhausting in ways I never thought possible. Guests are ridiculously abusive. I've had things said and done to me I never would have imagined. The company isn't always great. It highly depends on your leadership. And there's so much focus on your body and face, good and bad, that it can be incredibly depressing and difficult emotionally. Plus, you have to accept that there's very little upward mobility. Most people grow out of it, and it's rough to know that one day you'll get too old or too fat, and you will have to start all over in a new career field. So you constantly are thinking either 1. What you're going to do when you leave. 2. How you're going to keep yourself there. I personally knew it would be temporary, and I now only work there seasonally while I have a normal career. But Disney has a way of sucking you in. Edit. Hey, my first award. Thank you so much, smiley face. Cybersecurity. Bro, the movies do us no justice. Hacking is not as fast nor is it as easy as the media makes it. It's a great field, but you spend a lot of time researching or watching paint dry, especially in the gov side. Edit. I'll never be able to answer all of your questions. I'll answer some PMS as I get a chance. Edit. 2. No more questions about the field. Getting spammed, but goddamn is the pay incredible and more than makes up for it. Game master at an escape room. It's the same repetitive script. Resetting the same stuff. giving clues and hints about the same things. The patrons are often competitive families who argue, obnoxious, impatient 13-year-olds, college students who have been drinking, idiots who break us and touch us that I specifically told them not to. They never remember your initial instructions. If something gets broken during one group, you have to hurry and fix it before the next group. Paleontologist. You don't get to work with full dinosaur skeletons and do all kinds of awesome expeditions. You're mostly sitting at a desk looking at some pictures and logging stuff on your computer. Maybe examining a fossil occasionally. If you're lucky, you can go on a real dig. And OMG, spend hours in the hot sun dusting off rocks. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. That actually sounds pretty fun. It basically sounds like school with some extra steps. Working at a Charles Dickens fair is interesting, but not incredibly fun. It is hard to stay in character. And people get so mad when they see the Alice in Wonderland area. Yeah, we know it's not Charles Dickens, but we can't have a kids' play area in the world of Oliver Twist. Okay, lol, the kids' play area is a coal factory. Ha ha ha. Why not? Please, sir. More gruel. That might be just kind of humbling. Certain little less stains need